The power of reading English books. Welcome to The Language Leap, the podcast where we explore fun and effective ways to improve your English. I'm Caspian Ledger, and today we're diving into a simple but powerful habit: reading English. Books. Have you ever wondered what happens when you start reading in English? Well, today we'll break it down for you. Let's get started. Your vocabulary expands. Naturally, when you read, you're constantly exposed to new words and phrases. But the best part? You don't just memorize them, you see them in action. Instead of learning a word in isolation, you understand how it's used in a sentence, which makes it easier to remember and use in real life. For example, let's say you read the sentence, "She glanced at her watch and sighed." Even if you don't know the word glanced, you can guess it means something like looked at quickly. This is how reading helps you learn new words naturally. You absorb grammar without studying it. Think about how children learn their first language. They don't study grammar rules. They just hear and see how sentences are formed. Reading works the same way for English learners. The more you read, the more you recognize patterns in sentence structure, word order, and verb tenses. Over time, you start using correct grammar without even realizing it. 3. Your reading speed and comprehension. Improve at first. Reading in English might feel slow, but don't worry, that's normal. As you keep going, your brain starts processing words faster, and your understanding improves. You'll notice that you no longer translate everything in your head. Instead, you'll just understand the meaning directly. That's a huge milestone in language learning. Your speaking and writing. Get better, believe it or not, reading also helps with speaking and writing. When you read dialogues in books, you see how native speakers express themselves. This helps you sound more natural when you speak, and when you write, you can borrow sentence structures and vocabulary from what you've read. You start thinking in English. This is the ultimate goal, right? When you read regularly, English becomes a natural part of your thoughts. You no longer need to translate everything from your native language. Instead, you react, think, and even dream in English. That's when you know you're making real progress. Final thoughts. So, what's the takeaway? Reading English books is one of the best ways to improve your language skills. It boosts your vocabulary, helps you understand grammar, improves your fluency, and even makes you think in English. If you're new to reading in English, start with something simple, maybe a children's book or a short story. Then, challenge yourself with longer and more complex books. The key is to enjoy the process. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to The Language Leap. If you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Until next time, happy reading.